What's up, everyone? We're back with another overview of the G-body that we just recently completed. We have had a bunch of people asking us about a startup video, idling video, and we just got word from Dakota Digital that they had restocked their shelves for clusters for the G-body. So we let the customer know, and he wanted to go ahead and switch out to the Dakota Digital cluster. So we installed that. And did a couple other little cool things for the Holley Terminator setup that I'm sure you guys will enjoy. So we got our Dakota Digital cluster in here. Of course, you can't really see because there's a good glare, but like every other Dakota Digital cluster we've ever installed, the thing fits perfect and works great. One cool thing about this install is we used a box from Dakota Digital that allows you to bring inputs or sensors from the Holley directly into the Dakota Digital. Some of you guys, if you've ever installed these, I'm sure you've ran the sensors out to the motor and had to run them to the Dakota Digital box, or you've used the BIM module to go to a OBD2 connector and you brought your stuff in that way. Well, this little box, basically the same thing, except plugs right into the CAN bus port of a Holley Terminator and allows you to bring in a bunch of different sensors from the Holley Terminator. So speeds up the whole wiring process, allows you to get your typical fuel pressure, oil pressure, water temp, all the basic ones. But cool thing for you boosted guys, you can bring in your air fuel ratio and boost gauge right through the Dakota Digital cluster. It's not as quick reacting, I suppose, as a typical analog gauge, but it gives you the ability to actually run it in the cluster, which is really cool. Another neat thing that we did in this particular car this time around, we took advantage of Holley's manual shift option for the 4L60 and 4L80s. They actually call it a paddle shift mode. And I know some of you racers out there are going, holy, we're gonna make this thing into a Formula One transmission. Sequential upshifts, downshifts. Unfortunately, it doesn't really work out that way. It does allow you to manually upshift and downshift whenever you want, which is very cool, but you're still relying on the transmission to complete the shift like it normally would if it was in overdrive or drive or any other gear. It reacts the same, it's just you're telling it to shift instead of the computer basically telling it when to shift. So it's still pretty cool. It works great. I could see you roll race guys using it. Would work really well for that, where you're kind of cruising, you can bump it down a gear, and it is not going to upshift until you tell it to upshift. So that's pretty cool. Or going through the mountains or something, you know, pulling a trailer or, you know, passing someone, you can just bump it down, and then once you turn it off, the transmission will just shift up like it normally would if you're in a lower gear. So it's pretty cool. It works great. Like I said, it doesn't really shift super fast. You know, you're kind of depending on the transmission to do the shifting, but it's still pretty cool. In this particular case, we actually use the ashtray here to mount the switches. So I have the on-off to turn it off and on, and here's my upshift, and here's my downshift. Nicely hidden away in the old ashtray here. So I'll go ahead and get this thing fired up. We'll do like a startup here, and I'll go out and get a idle video. You can see what this cam sounds like. Little itty bitty cam. It's probably like a Summit Stage 1 if you guys just want to go look at a cam, but that's basically what it is. I'll get the Holley fired up here on the laptop, and I'll just show you the upshift, downshift that we got going on here, since that's easy to see. So get this thing fired up. All right, so I got my Holley up here. So we'll get into a data log so we can see it here. So You can see, hopefully, so right here you got first gear. So I'll bump it down into overdrive. So we're down into overdrive right now, and I'll get my toggle switch here, turn it on, and now whenever I hit the upshift, it'll upshift. Whenever I downshift, it'll downshift. And I'll turn it back into auto mode, and everything is back to normal. So that's a pretty cool feature. Like I was saying, one thing to keep in mind that if you are at an idle, like I am right now, and you start bumping up gears, once you get into fourth gear, it's going to really lug that motor down. So just keep that in mind. Another thing this is actually really cool for, which I just kind of thought of, is a dyno mode. You know, a lot of times when we're on the dyno, we'll have to max out a particular gear so it doesn't shift. In this case, you can just put it in gear and dyno it. So that's pretty neat. But I'll get out here and I'll set the camera up here and get you guys a little idle video, startup, and I think that'll be it. Well, I think that's it. I think I answered most of the questions that people wanted to know about this thing. I guess if you got any more questions about this swap or any other one, obviously hit us in the comments below. I try and answer everything. I may miss one or two, but I will try and get to all the questions. And I think that's it. I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing fired up here again and get a little drive back to the shop and get it ready for the customer to come pick it up again, and we'll get on to the next project. If you like these little videos, make sure to like and subscribe, hit the bell to remind yourself that I got a new video out, and I guess we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. We'll see ya.